Our cameraman just got us all in a bind. But anyway, what's up? Y'all get the blooper reel too. What's up, y'all? Y'all already know what it is. Today is Table Talk Tuesday. I know we've been gone for a while, but you know we gotta iron some things out. What's up, partner? What's good with you?
You know, I'm glad to be back on the scene. Glad to be back ministering to the people.
Yeah, amen.
I missed it.
Yeah, me too. I did. You know, ministry is what we live for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on? What's today's topic?
Today's topic is
Dun 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 dun.
a lot of people don't like this. Boundaries while dating.
It's boundaries while dating. I thought we were just gonna go into the whole being a Christian in relationships, period.
Yes. Okay, so the addendum to that is boundaries while dating. Okay. So yeah, being a Christian in dating, but boundaries while dating.
Well, it don't matter. We can let's go. What about it?
All right, so I'm not gonna say what I usually say.
Okay. You're not gonna say what you usually say.
I usually say I know Kris dating, but he told me to say it.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Okay,
yeah,
you know, and so with that,
hold on.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Sometimes you know.
Let's do it.
And sometimes you just you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not alone in this area, but we will say Kris isn't alone. But go ahead, Papa.
Okay. So talk to the people, you know what I'm saying, about
Kris isn't alone.
Your journey in dating and some things that you thought, you know, you may not have had to cover prior to dating as a Christian man, things that you have discovered while dating and some adjustments that you've had to make.
I think it just start with adjustments. I had to make adjustments in that area because for me, I don't date a lot for no reason. You know, once I became saved, I wanted to date on purpose. And I mean, I went out on dates, but I was never in an exclusive relationship. I went out on dates, and you know, I did seek God first. And once I felt in my spirit that I could open myself for a relationship, I did pursue relationships when I found somebody I thought I was compatible with, but it didn't work. Then, you know, I'm finally in a relationship, and now it's different because I'm practicing abstinence while in a relationship, and before I was just practicing abstinence being single. It was easy to duck and dodge. It was easy not to be around anyone. But in a relationship, you're constantly around that person, and it's not just about flesh anymore. You're attracted to their spirit. You're attracted to the God in them, and coming from a man who's not a virgin, I'm not going to lie, from a man who already has done those acts, the muscle memory comes into play, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. So sometimes I can find myself being the aggressor, not because I want to have sex, because it was one of the ways I knew how to express myself. You know, so some of the heavy petting and touching will get out of hand, and I had to check myself, and I've learned that you have to have a partner that y'all have like-minded convictions, and you have to have a partner who is strong when you're weak, and more than anything is willing to admit that they are weak so that you can be strong. Because I think the biggest problem is people don't want to admit this is where they struggle, and this is where they fall short at, and so they can readjust some things. And I believe in that moment you have to submit and be submissive to Christ and seek his guidance. It's not about beating yourself up, because the conviction itself is to put you back on the right path, so that's good. It's also other things I had to learn about myself. Communication, that I don't communicate effectively. I have to make sure I don't like to argue, so we talked about arguments and how we would deal with arguments with each other, because everybody handles their arguments differently. What you may think is your way of handling, maybe they may think you're dismissing them. You may say, I'm gonna be quiet and wait till I collect my thoughts, and I may be like, well, let's address it now, because I don't want to wait forever to address it. And you handling yours may make me feel dismissing. Me handling mine may make you feel rushed. So dealing with arguments, we have to address that. Just friends, you're not gonna like everybody. That the person you're dating friends. I mean, they may be cool. You just may not click well with them. And sometimes you have to have that boundary. You have to have that moment of separation too. You know, y'all can't be all around each other 24 hours. Like, you got to have that distance. You know, so you can process everything that's going on. And I think the biggest issue that I have with a lot of people, especially people of faith, is that they go into these relationships and they automatically think everything gonna go from happy to married. Like, it's gonna go from there's no gonna be no struggle, no fight in between.
Yeah.
Well, the struggle and the fight is to help you grow. I would rather struggle and fight now to adjust and learn to you than to wait till we get married and have to adjust and learn, because you're going to do that when you get married too. Exactly. But why would I want to add more onto it with things I could have learned before? You know, so it's always an adjustment. It's always a fight. It's always work. You're going to fall short in many areas, and that's not just sex. And I'm not saying you're going to, let me say this. I'm not saying that you're going to fall short, have sex, and I'm not saying that. But you may do some things that you may not like. You may kiss more long. You may touch more than you want to. And there may be other things. You may argue. You may catch an attitude. You may not communicate effectively. There are going to be things that you do like that, whether it's having arguments, not communicating effectively, you know, not incorporating somebody in your daily schedule, in your time, and y'all going to have little arguments about it. And that's considered me falling short. But the thing to do is, once you feel convicted, pray about it, ask for guidance, and seek wise counsel. Don't go to your friends that ain't been dating for 10 years and ask for relationship advice, and they've been making up and breaking up like they divorcing every hour with somebody. But these are just the little things that I learned, and I'm very thankful to learn them. And it makes the relationship stronger. Your relationship is strengthened by the things you make it through, and not by the happy moments that you always have. So I've learned a lot. I have really learned a lot. It's a fight. It's a work. But if somebody is worth it, if they're worth it, you will go through the moments, as we said before in one of our other sermons that we did together. You will go through the moments, so you won't allow the moments to affect you negatively, but help you grow in a positive manner.
That's true.
So I've learned a lot. I feel like I'm a better man. I'm a better man from it. And honestly, it's like a slap in the face. A good slap. It's like that person who won't wake up in the morning, you trying to shake them, because it makes me realize, it keeps me on my toes. It's like God wants to keep me on my toes and keep on strengthening me. Like, yeah, I know you've been good at this for so many years, but this is a new journey. There are going to be new tests. Wake up, because I don't want you to get hit by a boulder. Let me throw this pebble at you to wake you up. So, it's been a good journey, So, Cam, what about yourself? I know that is something you're pursuing. What are some things you think you can learn?
What am I pursuing?
No, I'm sure you're pursuing a marriage and a man and relationships in the near future. I want to know, what are some things you would have some concerns about, or some things you feel like you would need to work on?
Well, coming from a person who has fallen in her purity, I have learned I really hope y'all take this to heart. You have to set yourself up to succeed. You don't accidentally fall into purity. You don't accidentally do it right. You don't accidentally abstain from sex. That happens on purpose. People who are two disciples don't just get together, watch a movie, and say, my intention is to go over there and have sex. That's not your intent. You have to set yourself up to succeed. You have to say, regardless to if we finish the movie or not, I'm leaving at 11:30. Regardless to if I get sleepy, I'm not spending the night at your house. You have to set yourself up to succeed. You can't just say, well, I just hope that we didn't plan, or that wasn't our intention. That was never my. You have to set yourself up. And so, for me, the guy that I'm
building.
I didn't cut him off while he was talking. He does this to me all the time. But I'm going to take it out of love. The guy who I'm involved with right now, we have very, very, very strict boundaries. I don't really like that word, but it is what it is. Yeah, so, here you go again. So, one of our boundaries is time, like the time that we get off the phone at night. And this is not, the rule book. You know what I'm saying? These are our convictions. These are our standards. If you don't do that, that don't mean you're not a Christian. I want to make that very clear, because a lot of people get into these mentalities where it's like, if you don't look like me, you're not a Christian. That's cult-like. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm desiring to do. So my intention is just to tell you what's working for us. So we get off the phone at a certain time, because after a certain time, it's boo loving. I'm in my bed. I'm pretty sure you in your bed, and we just don't need to be on the phone. So we get off the phone at 11:30. He leaves my house by 11:30. And in the morning time, we don't talk before 11, because I need to be having my time with God. You need, whatever you're doing, I need to have my day set, and God needs to be the first thing that I'm dealing with, not you. Some other things, we don't kiss, because for me, you don't have to be the aggressor. I will jump on you. I'm just being really candid with y'all right now. And so for me, if I don't have preliminaries, then it's not gonna go down. So we just don't need to kiss, because if we do, something may happen, and then both of us are looking at each other crazy. What's another thing? That's pretty much it. But we handle things like if something comes up, and it's like, oh, that kind of struck a nerve, or oh, that kind of turned me on, then we handle it as it happens. So yeah, I mean, but basically those are our parameters. What else did Kris mention? He mentioned communication. That's another thing that kind of ties into that. For me personally, I've always been a person to kind of let things build up, and then one day I just like have this laundry list of things that you did that made me upset. Well, first of all, that's not love, because the scriptures tell us that love holds no record of wrong. So if we are, as women, intentional about attacking things when they happen, not only are we fueling this man and making him, kind of like be able to attack things and be able to handle them, because that's what a man wants to do. He wants to be able to fix it. So not only are we helping him to be able to do that, but we're loving him, because we're not keeping records of wrongs. But when we just let this stuff build up, and then 2 weeks later you like, you did this, you did this, and he like, what? Like, I didn't even know we had a problem. So that's another thing I'm learning to do, is as soon as it happens, babe, this made me feel like this, or was that your intention, or whatever, like as soon as it happens. So communicating, as Kris said, is very important. Friendship, I'm learning that too. Kris and I are best friends. Like, I told him today, we literally have the same heartbeat for ministry. We love stuff like this. The people that we marry may not, but they love us and they support us in what we do. And so I was reading a passage in Judges with Deborah, who was a judge, and the scripture says that when she got ready to lead the children of Israel, she called on a man named Barak, and the Lord caused her to lead with him. But she was married, and that didn't affect her marriage. The scripture didn't say anything about their marriage being affected negatively because of that, but that's just the man that she did that ministry act with. So I'm learning, even in that, how to be okay with my job or my profession or my career and the man that I love, the man that's my husband, the man that I'm in covenant with. And so I think that that's something that has to be dealt with in relationships as well, is security and knowing who you're with, and that ties back into communication, and just keeping that person, feeling like they're number one, keeping them abreast of what's going on, and not feeling like they are number one, because God is, but just letting them know that your intention is to be with them, and that's demonstrated in different ways. Kris may be the type of man who needs a phone call or needs a text message. The man that you're with may be the type of man who just trusts you. Like, well, just call me when you're done. So you have to know who you're with, and you can't get mad because they didn't respond like your ex, or they don't respond even like you. You have to know who you're with and cater to that person if that's the person you want to be with. So
I agree. I think one of the most important things you said too is that I wanted to touch on more is it's about boundaries. I think you got to have like a spidey sense. If anybody watch Spider-Man, it's a sense of start tingling. I think that's what you got to really have when you're going into a place that you're not comfortable with. Because for me, I don't call or text or even get on Facebook until I pray to God and just uplift Him and thank Him for everything. I mean, really going into prayer, and then I wake up, and of course, because I like to encourage my lady before she goes to work, and then her next, then Facebook. It has to be an order of things. And I go to God first, spend my time with God. I encourage her, and then I get on, social media and do whatever I got to do throughout the day, because a lot of times I got to check my phone, email for business and work and things like that, but I won't touch it until God talk to her, encourage her, and go on day, because I know how my lady works, and I want to let her know God is still before her, and God being before her is a great thing, because it encourages me and builds me up to be a better man for her. A lot of things, like I like holding hands and things like that, but if she ever felt uncomfortable with it, I can adjust. And there needs to be boundaries, not in just things like that, what you mentioned, but I wanted to say there needs to be boundaries when it comes to arguments. There should be certain things your lips should not say, because you can't bring back words. And for me, I know a lot of times me and my lady have, I don't want to say arguments, but we have differences in opinion. And I listen to her opinion, and I might just say okay, because I understand that anything more than that can cause arguments. So you just have to have a boundary, and sometimes you will have to be submissive and just say okay, and not try to prove yourself and try to be right. And that goes the same thing for you, ladies. It's not about being right. It's about, is it worth it? It's about right, wrong, and righteousness. Sometimes righteousness is what needs to take place. There's no need about who's right, who's wrong. It's just, okay, this is not getting us anywhere. I'm going to put a boundary. I'm not going there. We're not going to argue. I love you. I understand where you come from. Gain an understanding and go your separate ways. But our cameraman telling us we got 2 minutes left. Well, we ain't got no minutes left. But with that being said, we love y'all. We hope y'all liked everything. Like, share, commented. We appreciate y'all for watching Table Talk.
Love y'all. Bye.